Evening and welcome to the regular city council meeting of Monday, July 10th, 2023. We are now called to order at 7 p.m. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up is approval of the agenda. Are there any updates to the agenda? Seeing none, do we have a motion to move these?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next up, we have the minutes, the approval of the minutes on pages 5 through 8 of the packet. Are there any updates to the minutes? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We have, now we will have a scheduling of visitor comments. Are there any visitors who wish to comment on any agenda items? Seeing none, we will also take general visitor comments. Is there anyone who wants to comment on anything not on the agenda? Okay, moving on, we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda. The items listed on the consent agenda, summary can be found on page 25. The following renewal license is approved subject to payment of the licensing fee in compliance with code regulations. Eli Hain, doing business as the Minnesota Original Music Festival. And the schedule of disbursements for June 22nd through June 22nd, 2023 through July 5th, 2023. And the business license is a temporary show license. Do we have any discussions on the consent agenda? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bruflat.
Aye.
Councilmember Sherstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye. Next on the agenda is a request for city assistance for the Original Music Festival. Do you have any comments on that, Ted?
No, I think the information speaks for itself on page 26 into page 27 with the resolution just a little bit later in the packet. The organizers have requested certain items and staff is recommending approval based on a couple of different things, one of which is, as we always discuss, provision of the insurance that's required for utilization of the park, limiting vehicular access as possible in the North Plaza, and returning the park to pre-event condition. You'll see the information, the request within the packet, and the resolution is on page 33.
Do we have any questions or comments on this? Emily?
Just a quick comment to say that Eli talked to me about this event, and I know that he was really excited about it last year when they did it, and they're even more excited this year to do it again. So exciting to see new things come up in the city, and that there's a lot of support for events like this.
Any others? So on page 33, we have a resolution approving a request for city assistance for Minnesota Original Music Festival event. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Sherstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Councilmember Bruflat.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have a request for city assistance for a Day of Hope. Do you have any comments?
Mayor members, again, the information is included in your packet starting on page 35. The bullet points, I think, articulate the most salient issues related to their request and what's required of them. Again, the insurance requirement, they're asking that we provide for the stage, establish the stage, set up the stage. In the past, this has worked out in its third year, in its first 2 years. This is an event that's continued to grow little by little, and staff recommendation is to approve the resolution. That starts on page 38.
Do we have any questions or comments? Seeing none, on page 38, we have a resolution authorizing city assistance for a Day of Hope event. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Councilmember Bruflat,
Aye.
Councilmember Scherster.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next on the agenda is the Recreation and Leisure Services Director job description. Todd?
Mayor and members, as you know, it's our practice when we have a vacancy that we review the job description. The last time this job description was reviewed was about 5 years ago, in 2018. And as we had a resignation in this position, Director Schugel is left for a position in another community. This is the time to do that review and then start the process for recruitment. As you know, as we review these, we sometimes make small tweaks. I would say things that are included in here or the modifications that I'm recommending to you aren't what I would call major, big-time, substantive changes in the policy, the practice, or the organizational structure of the Recreational Leisure Service Department, but little tweaks for things that match up where we have evolved to over the last 3 or 4 years as a part of this position. I'd be happy to entertain any questions if you have them, but we do have a resolution included in the packet authorizing approval of this modified job description. I will mention that as you approve this then is the signal for staff to go forward with the recruiting process. And so if you approve it tonight, I'd anticipate that the posting would be out by the end of the week. This is something that we will do additional recruiting on, and as you may remember, we've sent you a little bit of information related to the potential timeline if you approve it tonight and when interviews could occur. So again, happy to answer any questions about this, but I think the job description speaks for itself, as do the changes, and the resolution is included in your packet on page 51.
Do we have any questions on this?
One of the things I'll just mention for the
Okay.
community, as we do the recruitment process, we would anticipate a very transparent public process that includes, as we do for most department director positions, it'll include a meet and greet where we'll invite the softball association, the pickleball folks, all kinds of folks to come and meet personally with potential candidates. And so you can expect that kind of process, and those types of groups will receive invitations as we get a little bit closer to that timeline.
I do have a question. It's on page 41 under essential job functions, the second paragraph.
Give me just a second to catch up with you here. Okay.
The adjustment is supervises the operation of the public,
That's my error. It should say public library.
and then the rest is eliminated.
The and public access television should be eliminated.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Thank you for catching that one.
Are there any other notes? Seeing none, does anyone wish to move the amended job description with that change to?
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll, Barb.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Councilmember Bruflat,
Aye.
Councilmember Scherster,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
That is it for our new business. We are now moving on to reports. I have no reports to have. Are there any council members with reports? Todd?
If I can, I have 3 listed here. First is MRVT has its regular meeting tomorrow in Le Sueur at 2:30. So for those of you that are participating, let me know if you want a ride share or if you are planning to meet us there. The biggest issue on that agenda is the audit for the 2022 year. And so anyway, I think we have quorum. We'll be in great shape. 4th of July recap. If anyone has anything to share about the 4th of July, I think we had a wonderful turnout in the community. Certainly the event in the park and the parade time, it looked like rain for a little bit. It seemed like it held off, at least where I was sitting on the parade, maybe a little bit further south it sprinkled, I don't know. But just a wonderful event as always, and really thanks to the Chamber of Commerce and the volunteers. I will mention that the Chamber really organizes this event, including the parade and participants in the parade. And really, again, a very nice family event in our community. The last thing I want to mention or provide Sally an opportunity to talk about is the refuse changeover. As you know, last week the week of the 4th, was the first changeover, and it wasn't the right dates and all kinds of different things, but now we're in the groove, and we had some calls, but frankly, I think it went better than I anticipated for the scale of the changeover. So Sally, I don't know if you have anything to share or to remind people of as we are in the new week.
We are in the new week, so pickup days will be Tuesday, Wednesday. It is not a recycling week this week. That was last week. Overall, not a lot of calls. I wasn't in most of the week, but from what I saw on the list of changeouts and some other things, it went very well. And West Central has been very open and fast to respond and working with us. One of the biggest issues we have is Park Row with the construction and where Kirby's go and how far they can pull them up and down. So West Central is coming to town tomorrow, and they will start working with the property owners on those and how they can, their trucks are not comfortable going down alleyways, so, and that's where a lot of the people had them. So we're working with people, we're working with the customers and getting things. We are getting calls about changing out sizes of Kirby's. Please hold off till after Labor Day, and then we'll start the change out and get a list of what we want to, if people want to go down in size or up in size. So one other thing they have found was a couple, or they're finding more and more, they're being a little bit more trash in the recycling. So please remember, you don't put bags, plastic bags, you don't put your recycling in a plastic bag and then put it in the Kirby. You don't put sticks and some of that stuff in their Kirby's for recycling. So they are watching that. They have cameras on the trucks so they can see what's being tossed and what's contaminating the loads. And if you have too much and your cover's open, they're going to be able to see in there and they won't pick it up. Last week, what they did then was just had the refuse truck come through and dump it into the refuse instead of leaving all the recycling. But they are getting stickier on that. So we'll have put communication out to residents about what's acceptable and what is not acceptable.
There's great information on our website for that, and really it's not us being picky or them being picky. It's really us trying to do what's right for the environment and making sure that the right stuff is going to the right place.
So,
Yeah.
but they are looking and they see it, so they're asking about some of that. So, but otherwise, they're good to work with, and everything seems to be running as smooth as you would expect.
All right, Sally. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Sally.
Do we have anything else? Seeing nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
14 minutes.
How's that
I got
fit
13.
for
I'm
Shannon?
like-